Well, we know that 7 people were injured, taken to Harbor View. 4 of them remain in critical condition, all injured by jumping from open windows. And when you see how high portions of that motel go, it's amazing that this wasn't worse. Just after sunrise, smoke billows into the sky from a motel off Aurora.
And as soon as they opened the door, it let all the flame into the room, and it shot into the room. And as soon as they opened the door, that's when I realized everything was going to hell.
Isaac's only comfortable using his first name. He woke up to smoke, quickly realized there was a fire. His only option was to jump.
It wasn't the ideal situation being on the top floor, but it's certainly better than burning to death.
He's okay, though 7 other guests weren't as fortunate.
I got lucky because the 2 people who jumped behind me, they got injured themselves pretty bad.
4 of those patients are in intensive care at Harbor View, all injured when they jumped from the burning building.
When they arrived on scene, they encountered multiple people. People jumping out of windows on the 2nd and the 3rd floor, people that were burned.
A fire that the chief himself called challenging. From Sky King, you can see fire crews taking on the fire from the top down, opening holes in the roof and trying to subdue the flames.
The building's going to be shut down now, and we're going to have to move tenants to other rooms.
By midday, dozens of residents were displaced. The Red Cross's disaster relief van on scene to help those in need.
The new owners have been doing a great job trying to get this place together, and then we get hit with something like this. You know, it's a sad turn of events, but I imagine we'll get through it.
Meanwhile, investigators from the ATF and SPD's arson bomb squad had the scene shut down for hours. Investigators working to figure out how this fire started. Seattle police remain on scene. Aurora southbound, about a mile south of the bridge, is just reduced to 1 lane of traffic. Agents from the ATF were on scene pretty quickly this morning. They have not officially said yet that this is a criminal investigation, but given all the law enforcement presence and the length of time that they've been here, well, it'd be fair to assume so. In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.